A war without end requires a soldier without end.
Great! We're in position! Move out!
I once believed it.
Take his arms.
But in this age, the convictions of a knight hold little comfort. Not when I fight those I once bled to protect.
We're catching up with Gavin here in the Sony PlayStation Lounge at E3 to find out a little bit what you're showing off of the Order 1886. I've just been privy to a little bit of a private presentation over there.
Guys, the behind closed door stuff.
Extended sort of the
demo. That's what we call it. Yeah.
Exactly. But you're showing something completely different behind here. Can you tell us a little bit about the two-tiered approach here to what you're showing of the Order 1886?
So basically what we wanted to do is have a little sneak peek of a reveal of the enemy, as it were, and we also wanted to go into maybe taking what we showed everybody in March, so the end sequence being we found these weapons and why the rebels have them, and going into letting people play the follow-on to that segment. So that's where we start in this particular portion. We still play as Galahad. Galahad is our character. We are going to play through an entire game, and he's now investigating precisely why the rebel faction have your weapons, and effectively you get your first use of the thermite rifle, which is going off in the background there.
Very nice, very action-packed, whereas the other thing, much more sort of suspense, scripted, driven, sort of narrative thing, a different approach to it, and sort of seems indicative of the game that it's going to switch between these two different styles.
That's exactly right. We don't want it to be seen as just a cover shooter. We have a lot of story, a lot of history within the characters themselves that we want to bring forward, and by literally just saying just run gun, and then give you a cutscene, that's not good enough for us. We want the gamer to feel as if they are part of what's going on. We want them to understand precisely why Galahad is questioning his role in this centuries-old war.
And one nice thing about the termite gun there is even that is tactical. It's not just tactical because of the cover, it's tactical because of how you used it.
That's right. So with the thermite rifle, just firing thermite alone is useless. You have to ignite the thermite to do damage, but at that point, you still have to creatively work with flame in order to dispatch as many enemies as you possibly can, noting that you do have a finite bullet count. So it's, again, that's integral to us playing the role of creating an action-oriented title. But we do have elements where we want you to experiment with the environment and interact with the environment to get the most out of the story we're trying to tell you. You don't have to interact with everything. But if you don't, you're going to miss out on at least a third of the narrative content that we're trying to put forward.
Yeah, very nice. Sort of that passive approach to it. You don't have to hit an audio file somewhere. You don't have to listen to it. You can stop and listen to it, take in it, read it, and take it in that way.
And by that, we're more trying to lead towards giving you various bits and pieces of information. So if we look at the March demo, being able to pick up a rifle and inspect it within a cutscene, if that's what you want to call it, that's how we're subtly drawing the gamer in. We want you to feel like, actually, we're not just throwing it in there because we're trying to be flash with physics. We're trying to get you to interact more and delve a little deeper and unlock elements of it. And I'm not talking about physically unlock, here you go, there's bonus mode. I'm talking about finding bits and pieces that you would have never found if you hadn't explored with it. And then again, when you come away from maybe finishing in your first playthrough, having a different understanding a second time when you do discover these little nuggets left in game.
Interesting also in the demo over there, they took the time to sort of show us that it's not really a quick time event. No. It's not as scripted as perhaps the first thing we saw is. It plays out and you can fail and things can happen a little bit differently. So interesting to see that sort of a second take of it.
QTE, press this and get the timing right.
It's like people are allergic to hearing that.
Exactly, and again, it was fair for people to assume that would be the case. You see a button prompt on screen and you note that something's happening, you're going to think that it's going to be the standard one. But again, we're conscious that we're trying to tell the story here, and if we do go with the whole QTE element, you'll be fixed on looking at a button prompt rather than actually paying attention to the scene. We want you to be a part of the scene, and we just ever so subtly seed these elements in there for you to interact with. It's a storytelling tool for us.
So you did this sort of the classic thing. You delayed the game before E3, so you get us excited about what we saw at E3, even more excited about it's coming in 2015. Can you tell us a little bit about the reasoning there? What is it that needs to be put into the game before you're ready to launch?
Want to ensure that not only the graphical fidelity and the audio levels and the rest are top notch, we want to make sure that you get the best possible experience, noting that we are trying to set benchmarks here. There's no point in us going as far as creating a great looking game if people are only going to play it for 20 minutes and never get to see the rest of it. We want to make sure that the game is quality throughout, and we're working with the right developers for that. Ready at Dawn have a huge pedigree in getting the best out of hardware, and we want to work with them to make sure that they create the best possible game within the time we've got.
Early 2015?
February 20th, 2015. That's the date we've gotten our end slate.
It's locked down now.
It's locked.
Thank you very much for
Don't kill me if we don't have it, but it's locked. Thank you. Appreciate that.
Lafayette!